Big wheels roll through fields with sunlight streams. Meet me in the land of hope and dreams. This train carries saints and sinners. This train carries losers and winners. This train. I'm gonna come say hi. I'm pretty good. It's good to see you. How are you holding up? Good.
Better, but I think she's still having kind of a rough time. But he said she might be coming back in a week, so.
Who's that?
Carlo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys front rowing it?
I know someone.
You go wherever you need to be. You find your place. Mm. All right, Leslie. This I'm well, you know what? I was supposed to go. Kidding me, right? It's one of my favorite places in the whole world. Yeah, I was supposed to go there when I was on my little Springsteen trip, and then my mom got sick, and it's like that was like my next place. And I just bolted home to Chicago. So I'll get there. I'm gonna get there next winter. I love it. This is a rough time. I love that. We're going to New York, for confirmation, and you know who I just talked to today? Keaton Hentoff Killian. Right, he's going to meet with the kids. I found out too late. We already got tickets to a different show. But he's going to come, and then it's sold out too for the first few weeks. Right, so he's going to come see us though. So, yeah. All right, I think we look good. This is a good-looking collection of humanity. I'm loving this. Take a look. Why don't you guys take a look around for yourself? And we more people are joining us. The phrase that I love in the Psalms, the book of Tehillim, is "Esa Einai," which means lift up your eyes. Sometimes we kind of get used to sort of not looking up and sort of being sort of downcast or just sort of singularly focused. And I think Shabbat is one of the gifts of Shabbat is it gives us a chance to really kind of be aware of our surroundings, whether we're outside on hopefully a beautiful Shabbat day tomorrow, looking up at nature, but also when we're together, looking around at each other and the faces of the people who are here. And there's people I know you know well, and there's people you've probably never seen before. And so part of that lifting up your eyes is really just sort of kind of renewing that awe and wonder of your surroundings, including the people around you. And so that's the first thing that I did is when I got up here to start the service, I lifted up my eyes and I got a glimpse of each and every single one of you. And I'm glad that we're here to receive Shabbat. That's literally what the Kabbalat Shabbat service means, to receive the Shabbat. We have now, this is the first time I've been here since we went into daylight savings mode. So Shul looks a little different on Friday night services or Friday evening services. We're gonna watch the evening come in and Shabbat come in, as opposed to starting when Shabbat has already begun, right? Because Shabbat begins at sunset. So the extra daylight gives us a chance to sort of really transition from the day to the evening and then to nighttime, which brings us Shabbat. And so we literally will, not only through the candles and through our prayers, but through the natural world and the windows that need to be in every synagogue, we'll actually receive Shabbat through observing nature. What's that, Michael? What's that? I know. Okay, Leslie. So let's start by singing then. We'll loud plugs or nothing. We'll overcome that by our voices blending together. Huge part of Shabbat is singing. You know, maybe some of us are able to sing during the rest of the days of the week when we're so busy, but Shabbat slows us down, even stops us, and we really have time to sing. And there's really nothing like raising your voice in song, especially when you're joined by others. So no one should be afraid to lend their voice to our Shabbat choir here, led of course by Leslie. But to help us in that and to aid us in that, there's a Jewish spiritual practice called nigunim. Nigun is the Hebrew word for melody, and the Hasidim of the 18th century, 19th century, sort of just developed this way of entering into prayer where you didn't need words, where you would sing melodies and just with sort of nonsense like lai, that allowed you not to have to worry about words, not to worry about Hebrew or even English or whatever language it is that you're used to, and just sing. Just let the ruach, the spirit, and your breath, which is also ruach, kind of fill the air without having to sort of be so intellectually engaged. We'll move into the words, which do help us match our soul work with our mind work. But for now, it's just neshama, just soul. So let's do a couple rounds of this nigun, just singing together, kind of getting used to hearing each other's voices and your own voice. And then on page 4, after we sing a couple times the melody without words, we'll move into a couple of melodies with words from the Hebrew Bible. The first passage, House of Prayer, is a translation from the Hebrew into English from the book of Isaiah, the prophet. And then finally from the Psalms, the biblical book of poetry and song with Hine Matov. So, but first, forget you even have a book in your hands. Let's just sing. Yailelai, 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 yailelai. Yailelai, 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 ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la. House of prayer, and they shall come to my holy mountain. Page 4. And rejoice in my house of prayer. My house shall be a house of prayer for all people. My house shall be a house of prayer for all people. And they shall come to my holy mountain and rejoice in my house of prayer. My house shall be a house of prayer for all people. My house shall be a house of prayer for all people. Here comes Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is and how pleasant when we, a group of brothers and sisters, gather together, sit together in peace and harmony. Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Nice. And though it's now we're getting closer, it seems like, to sunset, to that true Ma'ariv time. The word in Hebrew for evening is Ma'ariv, and it comes from the word for mixture, because it's a mixture of day and night, and you can kind of see that. So this is a good time to light the candles, anticipating Shabbat entering in just moments. So I'm going to ask my buddy here, Paul Hershkowitz, if he'll come up and light the candles to begin Shabbat. Paul, well, we go back a long ways. I officiated Paul's wedding. How many years ago? 21. Oh my goodness, 21 years ago. How could that be? Paul's a Friday night regular, sometimes a Saturday morning regular too. And Paul's been helping out. Hold on. I got things. I'll tell you. I'll give you come on. You've done this before. Usually Liz is up here with you, lighting candles. And we always think about Liz's mother, who loved lighting Shabbat candles. Yeah, I know. So anyway, for the last couple of, really a number of weeks, CRC has been participating with a really large coalition of congregations and of people who are trying to get on the ballot an initiative for reproductive rights. And CRC has always been, since its founding, a pro-choice congregation. You don't have to be pro-choice to be a member of CRC, but to be a member of CRC, you need to know that that's the stand we take as a congregation. And obviously, with all the degrading of those rights that are happening in our state and others, more important than ever to do what we can to bolster that and to make it possible for choice to be available in Missouri. So people have been coming here, members, during services. If people would like to sign the petition, you need a lot of signatures to get this on the ballot, and we're part of that effort. Actually, I've seen people all over, wherever I go in St. Louis. It's really, someone asked us if they could do a drive through signing in a couple of weeks. And, we're just trying to make this happen. What's the deadline, Paul? Do you know?
I believe it's sometime in May.
Yeah, so we're getting there. So anyway, you see Paul, you know him. He's going to light the candles. He's going to help us start Shabbat. And then after the service, if you're so inclined, he'll be, and I know a lot of people have already signed it, but if you haven't and you want to, Paul will be here with he's been trained as a signature taker. And
And a fire starter.
yes. You're very anxious. You're very anxious. I was just wanting to make sure we were corresponding to the right. So now, Paul, you can strike that match or light that lighter. We're on the bottom of page 4, and we're going to sing this song, this kavanah, this intention setting for this mitzvah that Paul is doing on behalf of all of us, of lighting fire, as he said, of making more light as we begin the Sabbath, our time of rest and peace and hope and renewal. So I hope you're feeling that already. Stay up here, Polly, and let's sing. Hear our prayers, we sing to you. Be gracious to the ones we love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear our prayers to you. Let us light these lights. Let us light these lights and see our way to you. And let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see our way to you. And let us say Amen. And it's our custom to kind of spread that light symbolically, spread that light wherever it needs to go, to all the people and places that need extra light and extra love. And then, as we say, there's always enough, even when you spread it around, there's always enough for you. So bring some of that light into your very heart and soul. You could cover your eyes if you want, take a deep breath. Filling yourself with that Shabbat light and Shabbat hope as we sing the bracha, the official blessing for this mitzvah of beginning the Sabbath through the lighting of lights.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher gidshon b'mitzvotav, v'tzivonu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat, v'tzivonu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen and good Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Of course, thank you. Come on in, y'all. Don't stand on ceremony, sit on ceremony. I just made that line up. That was good, thank you. So, do that. Look around, lift up your eyes once again, find somebody and tell them Shabbat Shalom or wish them a good Shabbos. Also, the camera, there you go. Good job. The camera signifies all the people who are watching us on stream, and people tell me all week, people, it's hard because they see us, but we can't see them. So people are always surprised to me, oh yeah, I watch the services, and I believe them, I do, because they're there. Michael knows they're there. So people who, people live, you can watch services now, from wherever you are. People all over the world now can find our services. It's awesome to have people here in the congregation, but we also are joined, whether we can kind of wrap our minds around it or not, by lots of other people who are part of our community on Shabbat, and I want to make sure we kind of recognize them and wish them a good Shabbos, participating with us, and I'll say it really quick. I know Lisa and Stan are watching, and so we're sending them Shabbat blessings, and we know they'll be here again very soon. So let's turn now
to pages 8 and 9. Lecha Dodi. In the scheme of things, is a more recent addition to the Friday night service, even though it dates, way back to the 1600s. But much of the service that we go through and that we've reformed, but still sort of stays in the same mode, is from much earlier than that. And so Lecha Dodi sort of entered the service when Kabbalat Shabbat became part of the service, this idea of not jumping right into the Baruch Hu, not beginning right away, but having some sort of entryway to the prayer. That's the breathing and the singing and the meditating. And this song says that now it's time to wake up. It literally says hit orari, which means wake up. And it's a way for us to realize that even though, as we said, we've lit candles and it's getting to be nighttime, any time is a time to be more awake and more aware and more present. And to the arrival of this holy time, Shabbat, to being here with each other, to our potential of being our best selves. And so the image of the Kabbalists in the 16th century, waiting for the sun to set, right? In the hills of Tzfat, up in the north in Israel. That's the image we get. And as they were waiting for the sun to set, so Shabbat starts, they'd be singing these songs, including Lecha Dodi that we're going to sing together right now. So it's got a part that repeats over and over, and that's got some verses. You'll hear that word hit orari, wake up. It's got the word or right in the middle of it, which means light. And as the Shabbat candles prove, there can be light anytime, day and night. Even in the midst of challenge and despair, we can find source of light, source of hope, especially when we know that we're not alone. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Yadadai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Yadadai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Kabbalat. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad. Ishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, Shemo echad, l'shem tiferet, v'letechila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Yadadai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Yadadai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Kabbalat. Likrat Shabbat, Lechu v'milcha, Ki mekor habaracha, Merosh mikedem, Nesucha, Sof Machzeh, B'machshavat Techila. Hey, Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Yadadai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Yadadai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Kabbalat. Hitarari, Hitarari, Ki ba'oreh, Kumi uri, 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 Shir daveri, Kevod Adonai, alai amivai. Yeah, Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Yadadai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Yadadai, 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 B'nai Shabbat, Kabbalat. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha, uve'tzola, toch emuneh, am segula. Boi kala. Bori kala. Hey, lecha dodi lecha kala. Yada da, yada da, yada da. B'nai Shabbat mikabela. Lecha dodi lecha kala. Yada da, yada da, yada da. B'nai Shabbat mikabela. Ha ha ha. Lecha dodi lecha kala. Yada da, yada da, yada da. B'nai Shabbat mikabela. You can stay standing if you're standing and turn around. The tradition during Lecha Dodi is to face the door. You know, it's wherever we're facing east right now, but then we face the door to kind of welcome that Shabbat presence, that Panei Shabbat. Oftentimes we'll be singing this. I was just telling someone about this the other day, and someone will walk in. It's like they are the presence of Shabbat. But the truth is, all of us in this place, at this moment, are the presence of Shabbat, our faces. Panei means face. It's, euphemistically presence, but it's literally faces of Shabbat. We in this place are the faces of Shabbat. I learned that melody for Lecha Dodi, actually. Been thinking about that as well in New York, at a synagogue called B'nai Jeshurun in the Upper West Side, where we used to go when I lived in New York with Amy, and even Zoe was born there. And it's a Sephardic melody. The rabbis of B'nai Jeshurun are Argentinian. And so they came from Argentina and brought a lot of melodies that they learned as Sephardic in Ladino, many of them. Anyway, I thought about all that because I'm bringing the confirmation class to New York just less than 2 weeks. And so we'll kind of be able to revisit some of those places that are important to us as a people, but also kind of introduce our teenagers to everything that New York sort of is. And I'm looking forward to that. I'll be looking forward to coming back, but what we do is we face the door, we welcome the Shabbat presence, we turn around again to what we call the shining place, the east wind, that is the normal direction of our prayer, and we call each other to prayer, having gone through our Kabbalat Shabbat, our receiving of Shabbat. Now it's dark out, now the candles are lit, now we can have time for prayer and for diving deep to try to remember how to become our best selves. And so we're going to sing the Barhu, which is on page 11. A little bit of Kavanah for this one too. More awakening, just like in Lecha Dodi. Before we sing Barhu, we ask each other, we ask ourselves, am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Am I prepared? Yada lai lai lai, 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 yada lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai. Yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai. ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? You may be seated.
Oi.
We're keeping those prayers flowing your way, Stephen. Always, always. More healing, more recovery. I'm going to sing another kind of preparation song, this time preparing us for the Shema, to recite the Shema together. This one is not in the book, but it's easy to sing, especially the chorus, which only has one word. It's true. One love for each other, sisters, brothers, and siblings. We're one, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other. Here it comes. One, there you go. One. Okay, now one. One love, one blood, one heart, one soul, one drum, one rhythm, one tribe, and all of us singing one. Yeah, one. Love is the temple, love the higher law. Love is the temple, love the highest law. Love is the temple, love the higher law. Love is the temple, love the highest law. Sing it one. One more time, oh, one. And so, of course, the last word of Shema in the Torah, in our prayers, is the Hebrew word for one, echad. And so I think somehow this oneness idea is both a reality. I think it's true that we really are one. We're one with each other and with the natural world. We're even one, the mystics believe, with the divine, with God. But it's also aspirational, because of course, while it might be true, it's difficult to act that way. And we know it, and we can't fool ourselves. War and division and hatred and everything that kind of tears us apart from that oneness is real, for sure. We feel it as Jews. Other people who are marginalized feel it as well. So it's aspirational in the fact that that we don't act like it. The world doesn't act that way, and yet it's also an undergirding reality. So somehow our task, I think, as much as possible, is to inspire ourselves enough to believe that there is a way to bridge that gap between what's supposed to be and what is, between the aspirational and the reality. And so, to me, that's, at least especially now, what goes through my mind and my heart as I recite the Shema. And of course, the Shema isn't limited to just prayer time. It was taken from the Torah so that it wouldn't only be chanted once a year, because it is so powerful. of a statement, of a recitation, and many people find lots of different times to sing Shema. It's ours, it's yours, it's part of you. And if it gives you extra strength and extra courage and extra love and extra faith, that we can sort of become what we aspire to, or become what we're supposed to be, or become what we really are and be more aware of it, then I offer it to you beyond even when we're together in this community. So if it is your custom to stand while you recite the Shema, you're invited to stand. It's also customary and traditional in many congregations to stay seated during the Shema. It's a long story. Could probably teach a class just on all of the choreography of prayer. But I like you guys. You guys did this is a good representation. Some standing, some sitting. But we're all singing the same words, as one through all our differences. And that's what we have to kind of move towards. So take another deep breath, Nishima Amukha. Breathing in the hope and the possibility, the renewal, everything that's good and high and holy in the universe. Let everything drop away, all the separations, all the terrible twos of existence. Just try for these moments that it's all one, that it's all echad, that there's no separation, there's just unity. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated if you're standing. We're going to chant the words on page 16 in Deuteronomy. These are the words that follow Shema Yisrael in the Torah, and so we chant them now. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlektecha v'aderech uvshokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafo bein einecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha Leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Amen. Page 18. There's blessings before and after Shema, and they all have themes. We jump right to the Shema, but there's a blessing in there for the natural world, for creation, Ma'ariv Aravim. There's a blessing for love and revelation, and then there's the Shema, and then the redemption prayers, right? So we're going to land on those two redemption prayers in the evening service. First one, again, is from the Torah, from the story, our original story of liberation, Jewish liberation theology, right? Every good tradition should have a liberation theology because we all need it. We need it for ourselves when we get stuck, and we need it for others because there are people who are marginalized and oppressed and even still enslaved. And so this is the song that was sung at the moment of liberation in that story in the Torah of escaping from slavery in Egypt. And so that it isn't just a history lesson, but it continues to inspire us. The rabbis in their wisdom put it into the Torah service so that we could bring ourselves back, not just to Passover, which is finally kind of coming now. We had a leap year, an extra month, so Passover feels like it's so far away. But now it's just a month away after Purim. But we don't wait until Passover to sing our freedom song, to pray for healing for whoever that ambulance, that siren is hopefully going to help, but also to pray for redemption, to pray for a world repaired, to pray that we're on the right side of those who need liberation and freedom from oppression, whether that's inner, oppression or the forces of oppression. May there be liberation, and may we be part of that liberating force. So this is the song that the children of Israel sang with Moses and Miriam at the shore of the sea, jubilant and ecstatic, and they danced and they played instruments. And we replicate that, not because it's Living History Museum or anything like that, because we want to be like them, on the cusp of something better. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, Norad Hila, Hosei Bele, Hosei Bele. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Ya yimloch le'olam va'ed, Ya yimloch le'olam va'ed, Ya yimloch le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la ya la la la, ya la la ya la, ya la la la, ya la la. I like that last rim shot, right? I'm sure Miriam did the same thing. I'm sure. Page 20. In the evening, only in the evening, there's a second redemption prayer after the Shema. In the morning service, if you come tomorrow morning, it'll just be Mi Chamocha. But in the evening, we get a bonus, maybe because we need it, And this Hashkivenu is sung on the Shabbat of Pikudei. Pikudei is the last portion of the book of Exodus. So tomorrow, if you come back, or if you tune in, or just so you know, the portion that will be read from here at synagogue is from the very last portion of Exodus. And of course, as we know, it's not that we're just finished with it and we put it away on the shelf. We keep reading these books and these stories and these portions over and over again, knowing that as we grow, so do our understanding of them grow. But it means that we won't be reading from Exodus for quite a while now. And there's a tradition, a really wonderful tradition in synagogues, that when you finish reading a book of Torah, that there's a formula you say. And although we're not reading Torah tonight, I thought I would kind of put it out there into the ether, into the universe. Just 2 Hebrew words, one of them is repeated. So there's 3 words, 2, I guess, unique words. And it's really quite stirring, even without the Torah part. What we say when we finish a book of Torah, like we're going to do this Shabbat, is we say Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. It means strong. Chazak is one of our words for strength. So it's strength and strength. And V'nit Chazek, which is a form of the word Chazak, means we'll strengthen ourselves and strengthen each other. And there's all, as you can imagine, there's all kinds of teachings as to why that word Chazak is repeated. Chazak, Chazak. One of the common ones is that, when we started reading the book of Exodus this year, we were strong. But then we went through the Shabbats and the readings and the stories, and through it we became stronger. And because we read it communally, we strengthened each other. And I like that. But I offer one, maybe for this moment in where we are right now, I think. as individuals for sure, but also as a society. Maybe we say the word strength twice, chazak, chazak, because we need it. We need as much strength as can be mustered. And I won't go through the litany of reasons why that might be true for me and for you and for us, but I kind of believe it's probably true for most of us. We could use more strength. Maybe a double portion, chazak, chazak of strength. And so that's my prayer for all of you, for all of us, that we find that strength, that we strengthen each other, that being here is part of kind of discovering or rediscovering that strength that's already part of you, that's already around us. We can get through whatever it is we need to get through. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazak. That's the blessing tonight in my heart for everyone. Take this soul living in my skin and bones. Take this soul and let it sing. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yahweh, always pain before a child is born. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yahweh, it's always dark before the dawn. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Shalom. Allow us to lie and rise in peace. Shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Here we go, chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. We need all the strength that we can get. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gotta be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Ufros aleinu sukat, sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat, shlomecha, and cover over us tonight with a sukat shalom, a shelter of peace for you, for those you love, a shelter of peace and goodness and joy and strength and courage, everything we need at this moment. May that blessing, those blessings, infuse all creation, so that soon, God will be willing, soon, there'll be more peace, more strength everywhere. Starting right here, right now. Amen. Shalom and peace. And turn now to page 23. And I'll read this before I have you stand. But we pay a lot of attention to the dates. Our mosaic is basically a calendar, and our nighttime sky is also our calendar. There's a wonderful book called The Jewish Book of Days. It's written by a rabbi named Jill Hammer, who kind of takes each day and talks about that day uniquely, often tied to some kind of very earthy sort of teaching, kind of indigenous teaching, a Jewish indigenous teaching. But I happen to look at, so every once in a while I look at what's going on today, according to Jill, and this is the 7th of Adar 2. So we have 2 months of Adar. It's a leap year. Purim is just 8 days away, 7 days away. Purim will begin Saturday night, a week from tomorrow night, on the 14th of Adar, and we'll talk more about how we're celebrating Purim in the announcements. But this is the 7th of Adar, and this is an amazing kind of teaching. The legend is that this day, the 7th Adar, is the date that Moses died. That's the tradition. There's lots of different kind of midrashim and stories that set around dates. So I'm going to read to you what Rabbi Hammer wrote about this day, the 7th of Adar, and it being Moses' yahrzeit. The 7th of Adar, the day of Moses' death, is one of the most poignant in the Jewish calendar. Moses does not die willingly. He argues and cajoles and begs to live. He is so committed to life that he asks to become a bird or animal rather than face death. That's according to the Midrash. When the angel of death arrives, Moses beats him to a pulp. Right? Moses pleads with the divine. Don't you remember the special moments we had together? How can you allow me to die? In the end, the Holy One sends the angel of death away and promises Moses that no one but God, no one but the divine Spirit will take away Moses' soul. Right? So God's going to do this, God's self. The Holy One ends Moses' life with a kiss and weeps. In the kiss and the tears of the divine, we hear the echo of all grief and the mystery of all love. Moses could be any one of us. And then it says, because no human is allowed to know where Moses is buried, the Holy One must bury him. In Eastern European custom, and I looked this up beyond Rabbi Hammer, this is true, the Chevra Kadisha, which is the burial society in every community, has a Chevra Kadisha that makes sure that when a Jewish person dies, they're taken care of the way they're supposed to be according to Jewish tradition. So the Chevra Kadisha holds a fast on this day, the 7th of Adar. So anyone who's part of the Chevra Kadisha fasts on the 7th of Adar to honor the yahrzeit of Moses. They fast and then they have a feast. That's what it is. And the feast also honors the founder of all burial societies. Guess who that is, according to tradition? God. Because God was the first one to take upon themselves to do this burial. So the feast honors the founder of all burial societies, the Holy One of Blessing, who buries Moses with gentleness and respect. So that's a little bit about this date, the 7th of Adar, and in this case, Adar 2, approaching Purim. If you're able, please stand again. As Friday night, it's our custom to start together this next group of prayers. We'll sing from a psalm, and then take a few minutes for your own silent prayer, your own reflection or meditation. Yeah, there you go. You could shake it out, whatever works for you. And then we'll all sit down and we'll finish this section of prayer, and then we'll move to the conclusion of the service. But we begin together with words from a psalm, just like we had Hine Matov in the beginning. This psalm is the verse, this pasuk, is from what I call the psalm of opening. The word patach is there, that means open, tiftach. And so I think about this as a way of making sure we feel just as open as possible. We've sung and we've prayed, we've sang Shema and Hashkivenu, and now we're ready to really kind of express ourselves to the Shekhinah, to the divine presence that is all around us and within us. So we are open in this moment. The prayer says to open our mouths for these good and holy words. But also, I imagine open arms and open hearts and open minds and open souls. This is the psalm of opening. This is how we begin the prayers of tefillah. Yai lai 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 Adonai. Yai lai 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 sifatai tiftach. Yai lai 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 ufiagi. Ufiagi tehilatecha. Yai lai 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 Adonai. Yai lai 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 sifatai tiftach. Yai lai 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 ufiagi tehilatecha. Yai lai 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 Adonai. Yai lai 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 sifatai tiftach. Yai lai 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 ufiagi tehilatecha. Yai lai 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 Adonai. Yai lai 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 sifatai tiftach. Yai lai 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 ufiagi tehilatecha. Page 31. Olam chesed yibaneh. To build the world from chesed, from love, from kindness, from goodness. To rebuild the world with all of the blessings that we know exist, with all the good stuff. How do we reduce what's harmful and destructive? How do we enlarge what's life-affirming and holy? The verb is build. It's an action. It can't be passive. It's me and it's you and it's us. Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed. I'm going to go like this. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yadalai, lai, 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 lai. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yadalai. chesed yivane. Olam chesed yivane. I will build this world from love. And you must build this world from love. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Olam chesed yivane. 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 Amen. Let's bring the spirit that we've created by coming together on this Kabbalat Shabbat, this receiving of the Sabbath that is now officially, of course, Shabbat, to do a little thinking and reflecting and praying with and for people who could use healing, could use the ruach, the spirit, the koach, the strength that we've created here to send them blessings. I know some of us can use prayers of healing. So I encourage you to think about somebody or the people in your lives that could use healing. We have people that ask us to pray for them. We have people that ask for us to pray for loved ones. We're praying for Ellen, a CRC member who just received a kidney and is doing great, a new kidney, yeah. We've been asked to pray for Shalom Melech Ben Jan. So many people. Gary Sewell I just talked to. He's home and doing much better. Terry, you're on our list. We're keeping you in our prayers. Stephen, we're thinking about you. And are there other names for healing prayer? Yeah, go ahead, Paul. Oh, all right. Well, we're sending you powerful prayers. Stephen, who's? Oh man. Okay. We'll tell Bonnie we're praying for her. Anyone else on this side? Healing? Yes, Sarah? Yeah, for Carol. I did see her a couple weeks ago. Yeah. How about over here? Yep.
So my sister, who sometimes watches us on the street,
Okay.
she's in the last week of her pregnancy, and she's dealing with preeclampsia.
Oh man. Oh, so we say first of all, refuah shlema, and also b'sha'a tova. Right, it should happen just at the right time. Thank you. Anyone else over here? Michael, anyone from the stream for healing? I don't know if you hear. We're good? Okay. Leslie, over there on the piano, is going to play our healing prayer. It's on page 34. For all those that we've named and for everyone who we're thinking of for healing, for people we don't even know who are suffering, who are ill, refuah shlema to all of them.
Mishabera abote Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Amen, amen. Right there at the end of the Misha Berach, we say together, Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. Blessed is the Holy One who helps us find ways to bring healing to those who are sick. And I want to kind of really be mindful and think about the hostages, the Israeli hostages in Gaza, and their families, kind of front of mind in our hearts. Amen. So a few announcements, and then we'll move into Kaddish to remember those that we are keeping in our hearts. So there's a whole bunch of announcements. I'll go through many of them, kind of in order as much as I can. Tomorrow morning, of course, there's a Shabbat service at 10 a.m. You'll hear the Torah being chanted from the very end of the book of Exodus, either here in person or through the stream. And then tomorrow afternoon, or like late afternoon, towards evening, Rabbi Daniel is inviting everybody who wants to show up at 5:30. This will not be streamed, I'm pretty sure, right, Michael? Not streamed. That's the thumbs up for no, not streamed, right? Okay. So yeah, we read each other. Rabbi Daniel's calling this a Shabbat Kumsitz, a nice Yiddish word. The deal is an afternoon service, so you can have 3 Shabbat services if you're so daring, and then bring a dinner for yourself and whoever you're with. There'll be a potluck dinner, and then Havdalah, and then kind of a jam, just music, instruments, voices, whatever happens. So that's 5:30 tomorrow, kind of a newish program that we're looking forward to seeing what transpires. So that's 5:30 tomorrow. Wanted to make sure everyone knows about Purim, because now we are really close to Purim, finally, after a month kind of delay because of the leap year. So I've got 3 Purim announcements. The first is Wednesday, March 20th, which I guess is a week from this Wednesday. Anytime from 1 to 5. Is it? You're right. This Wednesday. Leap year really is messing with my mind. Thank you, Nancy. This Wednesday from 1 to 5 to help make Homentashen for all the different Purim events that we have, including for kids, including for adults. So there's going to be this kind of open Homentashen making. Amy Gage, wonderful Amy Gage, our Director of Member Relations, will be leading this, so she'll be here to receive you and to guide you. So if you're into some baking, you want to learn how to bake Homentashen, or if you already know, come on out Wednesday from 1 to 5. You'll also get to see our Hebrew school kids who are here at the same time. No, it's spring break, so you won't see them. But you'll see each other, and you'll make Homentashen. All right, so then Purim, the 2 main activities of Purim are first, the actual evening that Purim starts, Saturday, March 23rd, is the Megillah reading, and it's always kind of done in a very kind of outlandish way. That's part of the tradition. The story of Esther itself is very outlandish, very fantastical. So the tradition is to read it in a way that matches how kind of outlandish and how topsy-turvy and how kind of unbelievable it is. And this year, we have chosen to present Esther's Eras Tour. Wait till you see this. We have a very special guest who's going to blow your minds. 7 p.m., a week from tomorrow night, there'll be cocktails and mocktails. If you've not been to Purim at CRC, we do Purim right, we really do. So we'll have fun together. And Purim is like 90% craziness and 10% kind of really important messages. And then like Passover kind of flips that. It's like 90% important messages and 10% like fun and frivolity. So that's kind of my little formula. So that's Purim. A couple other things. There's if you're interested in kind of delving more into dialogue about Israel and Palestine and Gaza and where the different places where Jewish people kind of are feeling in this really difficult time, Rabbi Daniel is leading a sort of a it's a way of sort of entering into dialogue and not being intimidated that if you feel one way and someone else feels another way, that's okay. And we're here to talk it through with each other. He calls it the 5 models of relationship to Israel. And it's going to be, that one is a week from Wednesday after Purim, March 27th at 5 p.m. Right? So one Wednesday you can make Hamantashen, another Wednesday you can kind of try to wrestle with where you are in relationship to this awful war and the situation that's happening in Israel and Gaza. And I think that's going to do it. If you haven't signed the petition for reproductive rights, Paul will be out there while we have our oneg. And the tikkun closet, this is important as well. When you walk into CRC, we built into the building an area where people can, anyone, when we're open, can come and take if they need some clothing or some food. People come every single day of the week, people that are in need for the moment or for a long term. We are currently out of food items, so cans of food, things like that, pasta, urgently need replenishment. So besides the clothing, next time you come here, bring some food, put it in the pantry. People come, it's like one of these deals where you leave it if you can leave it, and you take it if you need it. And so right now we need more for the people that are looking for some extra food. So that's the food pantry, or the tikkun closet. So those are the announcements. Yes, Paul? What's that? Oh, right. It's as opposed to can opener. Yeah, flip tops. The most requested food items, in case you're interested, are individual juices, caffeinated beverages, and water. Easy, open, shelf-stable foods that taste good at room temperatures. Crackers, like cheese and peanut butter cracker packets, and peanut butter and jelly. So, all right. Now we want to make sure we honor our loved ones who have passed away, that we want to make sure we name them and we together say Kaddish for them. So if you are here and you have someone to say Kaddish for, whether this is you're in your year of mourning or whether this is the yahrzeit, the anniversary of their death, I ask you to stand so that we can hear their names, and we have got other names that we are remembering as a community. So we'll start with Naomi.
For my father, Herb Sewell, who passed away on March yesterday.
Yeah, 14th, yeah.
14th, and his birthday, which would be tomorrow. So he would have been 102 years
Oh,
old.
man.
He was a good character.
Yes, I love Herb.
Yes, and also for my cousin Helen Ann, who passed away today at 90 years old.
Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Evansville, Indiana. Well, may your dad's memory be a blessing, and your cousins, and Zikor Nam Livracha. Zikor Not Livracha. Thank you, Naomi. Steve.
My maternal first cousin, Jeffrey Krieger, suicide today. And also, I grew up in my era, growing up in St. Louis, very close to the Marion family. And Dr. James
Oh, yeah.
passed away. His brother Joel Hurlwell and their father was a customer of ours for years.
Yeah.
To the whole Marion
Yeah.
family was suffering.
I saw that. A blessed memory. Thank you. Carl.
For Sue, my wife, and Honore's friend, many
We remember Sue as a blessing. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, yes. Remember. What was his name? Oh, Zikrono Livracha. Thank you. Let's see. Nancy and. Oh, wow. I remember. May her memory be a blessing. Continue to be a blessing, Nancy. The Dons. Yep. Oh, you're for Juanita. Yep. All together. Remembering Juanita. May her memory be a blessing. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Paul. Your dad and Rick, both righteous individuals. So thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. Let's see. Michael, names from the stream.
Yes, we're remembering Charlie Beniso, Baby Beniso, Judith Sasson, Avi Sasson, and Chaya Sasson, Robert Phelps III, Joel Sugarman, Jacob, and Monroe Zimmerman.
We remember all of them. So let's have everyone that's able stand together. I'll take that. So as Steve, as always, brings a list of those who died, is those Israelis that died in warfare over the past week. And we are remembering each and every one of them, have their names for a blessed memory. And I'm just reading every single name. And we just hope and pray for a solution that brings peace and security and justice and honors all of this terrible loss. Thank you, Steve. We have more names that we're remembering this Shabbat, including on their yard sites, David Millstone and Herb Sewell and Jean Wenneker Schneider and Jesse Shapiro and Joe Saxon and Joseph Bernstein, Catherine Fahn, Oliver Dule, Walter Skrenka, Don Schlosser and Florine Zimmerman, Frank Yampolsky, Hannah Recht Skrenka, Ida Engelhart, Steve's grandma. The art site is tonight. May her memory be a blessing, Steve. Leona Wolf Knopka, Oscar Stevenson, Ruth Todd Scammon, Tessie Carfeld, Virginia Zimmerman Sharp, Ann Erke, Dorothy Goldman, Jordan Zoll, Judith Tippett, Leon Mordick, Sam Weintraub, and Todd Cronemer. And coming up is the yard site of Stephen Coburn and Claire Hyman, who was a Friday night regular, and we miss her very much. Our recent losses this past year include Marilyn Ann McLaughlin, Mel Spiegelglass, Marilyn Fox, Arthur Levine, Eileen Ehrlich, and Arthur's grandson, grandson is going to be bar mitzvah in just a few weeks. Eileen Ehrlich and Hank Davenport, Ellen Jean Vickery and Rick Isserman, Geraldine Schiller and Shirley Landy, Myra Levine, Gina Rotman, Janisa Garbayo, Judy Wigder Crivet, Yakir Hexter, Chris and Shelley's grandson, Rose Waldman and Roxanne Holloway, Carol Liebson and Miriam Weintraub, Barry Friedman and June Cohen, Chuck Meyer and Kathy James, Jeff Jappa and Alex Bornstein, Emil Nathan and Sam Bernstein, Marlene Eisenstein, who sat right there for services, and Roger Goldman, the father of Josh and Sam and Stephanie's husband, who really was the founder of CRC. Andy Poltman, Brian and Paula's brother. Tovia Siegel, Sarah's mother, and Sarah's here almost every Saturday to say Kaddish for her mom. Linda Randall, my mom. Hilda Polsky, Aaron Coleman, Matt Blickenstaff, a young man who died too soon. Sue Smith, Carl's wife, and Dr. Moisey Shopper. Coming up on the yahrzeit of Stephanie Buchler, the first yahrzeit of Toby's sister, and Lila Rosenblum, and Beatrice Moss, his yahrzeit is just in a few days. She was Charles Moss's mother and Dolores Moss's mother-in-law. We think about all of them, all of our loved ones, all the people who died in war and as the result of violence that we could reduce. All of those names are in themselves an entire world, each and every one of them. And we keep them in our hearts as we say this mourner's prayer that is part of the Jewish tradition for thousands of years, to light up the names of the people that we have names for, and so that they will be a blessing, not just for the people who knew and loved them, but for the whole world. And so we say on pages 41 and 42, Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon u'v'yom echon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'galal v'zman kari ve'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitchomam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit haleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudesha, b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Thanks to Leslie for singing. She's going to be gone for a couple of weeks with her daughter in Florida. We'll miss you. You'll be back for Charlie's bar mitzvah. Stay standing so we can give each other a blessing. On Friday night, it's our custom to give each other this blessing that's from the Torah, Book of Numbers. And then we'll sing our way out to the Oneg room. You can follow me and sing along if you want. If you want to stick around, we'll make the Kiddush and Motzi out in the Oneg. And then anyone that wants to stay and enjoy each other's company, enjoy a little snack, please be our guest. So we put our arms around each other, holding one another in blessing. Thank you for being here. It's been just a privilege and always a blessing to spend Shabbat with community, and that's who we are when we're together. So take a look, one more look around at the Pnei Shabbat, the faces of Shabbat, and let's give each other this blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you, each and every single one of you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine down upon you and through you and be kind and loving and warm and gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may you be granted with the greatest gift of all, the gift, the blessing of shalom, which is, yes, peace, but also wholeness. Shalom in your hearts and your homes, shalom in your neighborhoods, shalom in your communities where you go to school and where you work, Shalom in our country, and God willing soon, we hope and pray for more peace, more wholeness, more shalom throughout all creation. Let it start on this Shabbat from us to the universe. And let us say Amen and Shabbat Shalom. Yalla,